Hello, race fans, and welcome to Ryan's Race Reviews. Race number 2 of the 2019 Cup season has come and gone, and this week we're at Atlanta with the new rules package. A lot of anticipation around this race, and I have to say, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, sure, it wasn't three wide pack racing the whole day, but I mean, if anyone really expected it to be that, I think you're delusional, to be honest with you. What we did see, I think, made for better racing, at least throughout the field. I know it wasn't swap the lead back and forth every 3 laps, but we did get some of that. We had some good battles. We had Harvick and Larson battling each other towards the end of a stage. The end, I mean, things got interesting at the end. So, all in all, I got to say, for the first race with the new package, kind of the semi-package, if you will, because we didn't have the Aero ducks like we'll see at Vegas next week, which I'm really excited for Vegas. A couple things that I do want to touch on. What I did like, the restarts were great. I mean, I wish there were more of them. At one point we saw Kurt Busch go 3 wide up through a couple of cars. We saw 4 wide racing at points, and part of that is because the cars are more stable. They have more downforce. These guys can put their cars, put themselves in some different situations that maybe they couldn't have before. With the old package, if you got next to somebody, one car just lost control all the time. So you might get side by side, somebody would slip, that was the end of it, fall back a second behind the other person. Today you could race a little bit. Now Atlanta's a different animal, which is why I think everybody needs to be a little bit patient. It's so worn out. The tires wear out. When you don't have any grip, it's hard to stay up with the guy next to you, in front of you, what have you. So you're not going to see, pack racing. You're going to see, if you have a better car, you can get up there, you can battle with them. It might not be that easy to pass. But back in the day, last year even, you got close to somebody, about a second, maybe half a second was as close as you could get. Today we saw some good racing. I know a lot of people are mixed, and I feel like, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be scared on this show to share my opinion. I think the people that didn't like the race made up their mind on the package before the season started. When they heard the lower horsepower, that's not NASCAR, this is going to be terrible, that race was terrible. Well, sorry there wasn't cars upside down on fire, 3 wide all day, 4 cars side by side for the finish. I mean, we're never going to get that, I don't think, at every single racetrack. I mean, you're never going to get it at Martinsville. You're never going to get it at Dover. It's just some tracks have different characteristics and are going to produce different racing. But I was entertained today, and it's not like there were a ton of cautions to keep things bunched up, to make things, to have some crazy restart mess up the race. It was just fun all the way through. And, one thing that to me makes a good race, I would like to have seen more side-by-side racing at the front. I'd like to see maybe the top 10 cars a little closer together with baby steps. But for me, what was interesting about this race is even when it looked like you had somebody who was going to come out and dominate, that car was nowhere to be seen at the end of the race. Kyle Larson led a lot of laps. He led the most laps of the race. He was really the only driver to get out there and lead consistently in the first 2 stages. Then he had a pit road penalty, got back in the field, wasn't as good. So, that's just part of this new package that we're not really going to know who's going to be the best car when it matters. And I think that's what made this race interesting. I mean, for a while, it's going to be Harvick's day. It's going to be Larson's day. Well, might be Ryan Blaney's day. Nope, not Blaney's day. Logano's day? Almost. Loose wheel at the end. Brad Keselowski wins. Where'd he come from? He didn't get stage points in the first 2 stages. I mean, nobody saw that coming. He had the flu. Nobody saw Keselowski winning this race. And another thing that I liked was, look at some of the teams that had good runs. JTG Doherty Racing, easy for me to say. They had their 2 cars destined for a top 10 until Ryan Preece had that incident on pit road. That was just bad luck for everybody. I know a lot of people, how dare the 52 be on pit road? Yeah, how dare he run his race? How dare he have to pit? How dare he have a flat tire, need fuel, and need tires like everybody else? How dare he be on pit road? Asinine, I know, crazy. Sucks for Ryan Preece. Really good guy. I've met him. I've got to interview him after wins. Really cool guy. Hated to see that happen, but it just wasn't meant to be for him. However, the team has shown really good speed and has really good promise going into the rest of the season. I hope that that can stay, and I hope that with this new package, we do continue to see new faces throughout the top 10. In the top 5, look at Daniel Hemrick today. Another guy, great run. Could have finished 4th, maybe 5th, 6th, somewhere in that range. He had tire issues with 20 to go or whatever it was. So that was a shame. But some of those guys were up there. Stenhouse led the first lap of the race, qualified well. Didn't have the best race. Ryan Newman, another Roush car. He was up there battling amongst the top 10. So we didn't just see Stewart Haas and Gibbs cars, through the first 10 spots in the field. We had a little bit of diversity, and I think that'll only get better as the package develops and we get used to it. So, good start at Atlanta. I enjoyed the race. First stage was won by Larson. I really hope that this year Kyle Larson can get back to contending for wins like he did 2 years ago, because last year definitely an off year for him without a win. He looked to have the best car early, but like I said, that pit road penalty, it killed him. Same thing with Blaney. They had trouble on pit road. It killed him. Pit stops and track position are going to be essential in restarts. Those are going to be the things that are really going to be essential with this package. Unless at some of these other tracks with the Aero ducts, we can see more drafting and get more runs. What I would like to see more with this package is I'm glad it's keeping the cars a little bit slower, so the disparity in speed is down a little bit. But what I'd like to see is cars able to suck up more and get better runs. Maybe not. We got to find a way to make clean air not the biggest advantage. Not to say that the leader needs to be at a disadvantage, but it would be great that if you caught the car in front of you, you could suck up to them and at least get up there and battle. I'd like to see more of that. I think if we can do that, we'll be on the right track. But as far as this race goes, Larson wins stage 1. Harvick battles and duels Larson for the win in stage 2. So you're thinking, well, it's probably going to be one of those guys. Well, at the end of the race, when it mattered, they were not in contention. I mean, it was Logano, it was Keselowski, and it was Truex. Logano, as I alluded to, he had tire issues late in the race. He faded back. And then Keselowski had the lead, and he had about a 2.5 second lead. Last year, I think the lead was like 10 seconds. So come on, guys. That's like a 7 to 8 second difference. Let's be realistic here. That's better. We can make it better, but we're taking good steps. When it came down to the end of the race, though, with Keselowski leading, I was like, wow, he's going to pull this off. And then with his teammates having tire troubles, and he complained about some overheating, you had to wonder, well, is he saving his car? Because Truex was able to close in. And I remember the last 3-4 laps getting up on the edge of my seat saying, oh, here we go. Truex is going to steal this. It's going to be a crazy finish. Truex was able to get to him with a lap to go. Just couldn't find a way around. And Keselowski, who didn't win until Darlington last year, like 2 races before the playoffs, has now gotten his first win of the year, along with Denny Hamlin, who didn't win at all last year. So already this year, we're off to a different start with winners. Last year, Austin Dillon surprised everybody at the 500, and then it's Harvick. Harvick went on a winning spree. Well, we're 2 races in, but 2 different winners this year compared to last year. Vegas, I think, is wide open. I think we're going to see a good shift in dynamics as the race goes on. Maybe somebody establishes dominance early. Somebody gets it figured out late. Maybe a late race restart with these Aero ducts. Who knows? It's really, really going to be interesting. But I enjoyed this Atlanta race. There was more lead changes this year than last year. There seemed to be a lot of passing throughout the field. And every time I looked at the leaderboard, there was 20-plus cars on the lead lap. Last year, I think there was 10 cars on the lead lap. So again, it's getting better, you guys. That's my whole point here. So I liked seeing that. I liked what I saw. Enjoyed the race. I think Vegas has potential to be better, but I don't think it's going to be any worse than what we saw at Atlanta. So I'm really looking forward to that race. As far as Atlanta goes, like I said, guys, I enjoyed it. For a long while, I was thinking, maybe this race is going to get a 6.5. But at the end of it, the finish was fun. It had me on the edge of my seat. I was getting a little anxious there to see what was going to happen. I enjoyed the comers and the goers like I thought there would be. I give the race a solid 7. Wasn't the best race I've ever seen. By far not the worst Atlanta race I've ever seen. I mean, the races with the early COT car, not good. This was entertaining. I know it was a 4-hour race. I like the long races. I got 4 hours of pure entertainment when I got to sit on my couch and relax. I was legitimately sad when it ended. So I get the race a 7. It was good. So 9 for the 500, 7 for this race. Nice 8 average. Pretty good. So we'll see what happens in Vegas. I'm very, very optimistic that race is going to be very entertaining. I cannot wait for practice Friday to maybe see if we're going to get an idea how the package is going to work with all the cars out there. It should be fun. I can't wait to tune in. I wish it wasn't a West Coast race because I have to wait till 3:30 to watch the darn thing. I hate the late race starts, but NASCAR is back. Race season is here. It's off to a good start. Keselowski, one of my favorite drivers, he's got a win already. So I'm going to ride that momentum into Vegas and hope for another great race. Hope this package can deliver again. There you go, guys. There's my thoughts on the Atlanta race. Let me know what you think. If you didn't like it, go ahead and tell me why. I'm definitely going to challenge you like I challenged a ton of people on Facebook. A lot of naysayers out there with this package. I will defend it. I enjoyed it. As racing fans, the worst thing we can do right now is say how bad it is. Okay, I get it. It hasn't been great in the last few years. But you know what? It's time to be positive and get people interested again, because if us, the race fans, are not interested, how are we going to get non-race fans interested? You catch me? Same goes for your short tracks, too. Don't knock your short tracks, because they might not be there for much longer. So, anyways, let's keep a positive attitude. Let's keep rolling with 2019. Let's see how Vegas goes. I cannot wait. I'll be back with that video next week for y'all. Until then, y'all take care. I've enjoyed racing with you. I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.